Now, this video should belong on my entertainment channel. However, because of its cultural connotations, I thought about adding it on my main because I want more people to see it. You see, I was asked yesterday by a Romanian that doesn't follow the news, and he asked me, what is wrong with wokeness? And when you say the word wokeness, a lot of people that are advocates of this ideology will immediately pretend that they're absolutely dumb, that they lived under a rock, that they have absolutely no clue what they are talking about, and they are craving, they are desperately needing of an education. They will go like, what is woke? Like, how do you define it? Can you define it? And the reality is, like, most people know what you're talking about, right? Like, it's 2024, whether you call it woke, whether you call it diversity, inclusivity, and equity, whether you call it bridge, whether you call it social justice, people are very aware of what the conversation is about. So let's stop pretending that we just don't understand the world we live in. We just came from a time machine from the 1990s, and we have absolutely no clue of what is being discussed. So once that is placed aside, the question is like, what is wrong with it, right? Like, diversity is a good thing, inclusivity is a good thing. And whether that is true or not is the behavior of the people that are pushing these ideologies that seem abhorrent to the rest of the world. Like, people who aren't part of this, they just go to work, come home and bring money so they can feed their wife and children, and they want just security, like hopefully someone doesn't come in and steal their hard labor. When they look at the behavior of these people that are supposed to forward society, that are supposed to bring about a better change, the behavior is absolutely abhorrent. Like, you wouldn't want to have one of these people as your neighbor. You wouldn't want to associate with one of these people. I mean, here's an example of what I mean. You have this individual by the name of Grooms. Now, he is pretty famous. He was one of the lead developers of World of Warcraft. Massive game. Everyone around the world knows about that game. Everyone at least has heard or has played the game. So he is a juggernaut within the industry. Whether you agree with his politics or his takes, that's different. But he is an important figure that has helped pioneer the gaming industry. I don't even think that there are figures like him alive today in the West. Now, there are some Korean developers and Chinese developers that maybe in the future will be able to create a game that is as famous as World of Warcraft, but like currently, right now, in the gaming industry, no one is at the level of Grooms. And this upsets them, right? Because usually they want people that are influential and have a big platform to spread their ideology. But sometimes, you know, in a free and just society, you can have certain people that have large platforms that disagree with you. They disagree with your worldview. And this is what Grooms is doing. Like, he is basically disagreeing with the direction that the video game industry is going towards. He doesn't like the fact that every single video game is removing the concept of femininity. So instead of having the word woman, you now have body type A, you have body type B. A lot of female characters, they look very androgynous. If you don't believe me, you can just take a picture of them, put it in ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT if the character is male or female, and you will notice that ChatGPT is unable to recognize it. They will say, well, it's androgynous. But if you take a character from Mass Effect or Dragon Age, you will see that ChatGPT is able to initially point out the correctness. And many such cases, you know, pronouns, other developers being antagonistic to their customers, insulting customers, calling gamers racist, sexist when they want money from them. You know, like all these bizarre decisions is something that Grooms doesn't like. And he also noticed the competency crisis where most video games that are coming out now, they're broken at launch. They're doing their best in order to milk consumer out of cash. It's like $120 for the deluxe edition of a video game. Completely absurd, especially when the video game is filled with bugs, right? So he's having like these opinions. He's having these takes. And these takes seem to upset the people that are promoting social justice, that are promoting woke ideology. And because they can't manage to debunk his claims, right? They can't just go, well, no, actually, this new video game, you know, it's perfect. It's working just fine. I don't know what bugs you're talking about. A lot of people enjoy it. I don't know why you're saying that it's bad. No, what they are doing is these underhanded tactics. Like, for instance, finding out his wife's retired Twitter account and then posting family photos from it including photos of his children and from his birthday where he was at a Japanese restaurant. His wife is upset, wants to be left alone. A Kotaku journalist is sharing some of these photos. At least one people has showed me on her feed. He wants to be left alone. And as you can see here, he says that it's gone, but he archived it. And, you know, like the thing is, all of these people that are promoting woke ideology, they brand themselves as compassionate, empathetic, tolerant. The only ones on Earth capable of attaining this mythical status of basic human decency, as they call it. And that is the PR. That is how they surround themselves in. But when you actually take a microscope and you look at the activities of these individuals, it is anything but. It's a polar opposite. Again, imagine if a Hollywood actor had to go through this. I mean, even people from my camp would be outraged, right? No one deserves this stuff. It's like, okay, the guy has opinions about video games. Just block him. Just ignore him. He's not a politician. He's not starting a political movement to take over the United States of America and inflicting his ideology onto your children. I mean, they would get livid when Anita Sarkeesian had to go through similar stuff. And by the way, like, Anita Sarkeesian never had to go through something like this. I don't remember, like, picture of her family members being shown on the internet or anything like that. Right? And people from our camp were like, oh yeah, just leave her alone. It's like, literally who? Like, who is she? Just leave her alone. Like, many people were doing that. But notice how I can't find a single woke person that's like, yeah, leave Mark Kern alone. It's like, just block him, just mute him. You know, if you don't agree with his takes, debunk him, make a video response, you know? Because sometimes he is wrong on his takes. I mean, anyone can be wrong on their takes. And that's when you can just make a video response, expose him or whatever. But why are you bringing his family into this? Why are you bringing his personal life into this? I mean, people don't follow groups in order to learn how to be a good father, in order to learn how to have a stable family or anything like that. None of that matters. People follow groups in order to get info about what's happening in the gaming industry. That's it. I don't care, because apparently, like, right now, when you follow him, like, a lot of people say, well, he doesn't pay child support. I don't even care. I don't even want to follow to see if that's true or not, because it's none of my business. It's his private life, and he is not trying to be, like, a pro-family guru that is trying to tell people on how to be pious and how to be good conservatives and how to have strong and stable families, right? If he was about that, then yeah, like it would make sense that you criticize him from that angle. But all he does is he talk about video games. I don't give a shit about his personal life. Might as well just live in a single apartment by himself, eating ramen all day. Or he can actually have a loving family of 20 and it wouldn't matter. I genuinely don't care. That's not what I follow him. But the thing is, like, the people that are attacking him don't care either, right? Because that's the interesting part. Like, there are some people out there, some conservatives that believe that any sort of public figure needs to be absolutely pristine. Like, their life needs to be absolutely perfect, nothing wrong, no sin whatsoever. And if you expose that the person is sinful, then you should move away from them, right? Because they're a bad example. But the people doing the expose, they don't believe that. Like, the people doing the expose probably have lives a lot more, let's say, interesting than Grooms's, right? They probably have family issues much more interesting. And the reason for it is that they don't care, right? Those aren't their values, but they are going to use your values against you. They're basically going to say, oh, you're a conservative, so clearly you would not support someone that, you know, is in a divorce or whatever. So because of that, because you don't support that, this guy that you're following, yeah, and he's making sense and I can't debunk, yeah, he is like that, so move away from him. It's pretty much like the idea of doing any type of tactic, like literally anything under the sun they can think of in order to delegitimize and try to make their opponents either look evil or ridiculous. But the reality, by doing so, by using these tactics, everyone is seeing it. And we know that, okay, if you guys were genuinely perfect and you actually managed to live like pure, holy lives, then it would make sense that you do not accept sinfulness. But we know that's not the case. We know that people from the woke ideology have a lot of skeletons in their closet, right? And they don't expose each other. They only expose the people that disagree with ideology. Which is why most people are siding with groups on this and they generally don't care. They're like, okay, so what? It's like, I just want to hear what he has to say about video games. Has he done anything illegal? No? Oh, okay. Well, if it hasn't done anything illegal, So I just wanted to point it out, like this also happened to me back in the day. Like I had the social justice activists call my mother. Much to their dismay, my mother didn't speak English. So it was a little bit of a language barrier going on, and but they wanted to say that I'm misogynistic because I disagree with feminism online. I'm not even kidding, right? Apparently, because I made videos debunking the gender pay gap and videos disagreeing that there is sexism in video games and other such nonsense. They said that I must be a misogynistic pig, and they thought that they should call my mother to see if she cares. She didn't. No. Especially because at the time I was using the money I was making on YouTube in order to help my parents pay the bills. So apparently, yeah, it didn't really swing by. But she wouldn't even understand them to begin with. So my point is that this is what they're doing over video games, right? This is how unhinged people on Twitter are, again, over a topic like video games. I mean, don't get me wrong. I find video games to be an important conversation. I do think that people require entertainment when they come home after a hard day at work. I do think that people should get a good product if they're willing to spend $120 for it. But I wouldn't go around and try to find family photos of people who disagree with me, try to dig into the relationship history of people that do not agree with my videos, and try to get my followers to spread those pictures to try and ruin their reputation. Like, this is beyond the pale, it's a conduct in which the people that engage, for some reason, still manage to have the PR of having the mythical status of basic human decency, as I mentioned. So let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.